Hello everybody, happy days, join the chat. Well, there goes my week off. Guess who's back? Back again, me. And first of all, apologies for going AWOL there and taking, 7 or 8 days off, but I needed that. That was good. I had a couple rough weeks there, traveling around, going conference to conference, and it was good to be able to get home, relax, decompress. Gave me some time to get back into the gym, play some soccer, get some things done on the back end that I needed to get done, and lurk. No doubt, I was still researching, keeping up to date on things, and gave me a little opportunity to dig deeper, have some time to read some books and whatnot. So it was good for me. But now I'm back, so what are we gonna chat about? I mean, there's plenty of things going on in the world, of course, to discuss. I'll probably take some questions from you guys and open it up, let you guys leave the chat here in a little bit, but there's some things that I want to talk to you about first. I got some shout outs here of some things I want to make note of to you guys. First of all, shout out to Dr. Michael Sala. His new book that he gifted me a hard copy of it. Thank you, my friend Paul, where we go and we go all, for the super chat. I had already bought his ebook. You know, I like to support. More than happy to buy the ebook version, but I didn't have a hard copy. And when I met him at Contact in the Desert there, he gifted me this one. He signed it, and I'm about a third of the way into it. It's a really good book. I like his work. So that's that. And next up, shout out to friend Gabriel. He has a line, he calls it Stardust Alchemy. He makes orgonite, shungite pendants, things like that. I just got a nice order from him. Shungite pendants. So these are sweet pieces. They're up on my web store. You can check that. I've got some more orgonite coming in next week as well. A couple bulk orders, more pyramids, charging plates. I'll be getting some phone protectors too. Some shungite flat bricks. They just stick right to your phone. They're nice and flat too. I've seen some people make shungite phone protectors that are like thick and bulky. These ones are pretty neat. So I'll let you guys know when those are up. And a couple more things. One is I'm having so many coins thrown my way. I want to talk about that Q coin in a sec. But when I was there at Contact, there was a fine gentleman, thank you, sir, who threw a couple of these coins my way. They're Tesla coins. Actually, if you can see that there, take it out of the package. He just gifted me these. And he said that he's working for a company that's minting. He said that these are official Serbian money that's out. Silver pieces and commemorative Tesla pieces. Not even commemorative, it's official money there in Serbia, as he told me. So thank you, sir, for handing these to a brother. And now I want to talk about the Q coin. So this is just funny. Something that happened right after I uploaded my last video last weekend. And about a week ago. Now, first of all, let's talk about this Q coin. So Q coin made by NOBLEGOLD. Shout out to NOBLEGOLD. I actually had the opportunity to go to one of their offices, meet some of them when I was there in California for a couple weeks. They have an office in California and Texas. And I was able to go there, meet them, had lunch with a few of them, and it was good to know who I'm supporting and who's supporting me. You know, they're good people. And they're a precious metal company that just wants to do something, you know, give some things back out to the world. So they've been pressing various commemorative, like Trump coins, American flag coins out of silver and gold and whatnot. They just came out with this Q coin. And if you want to grab one, you can. I have a $5 off code for 2. If you type in my name, Jordan, I'll link it all down below. Or you can go to greatawakeningcoin.com. 2 of them with the code Jordan, get you $5 off. So that's that. Shout out to them. It's cool meeting them. And right after I did my last video where I mentioned this really quick, last Friday I think it was, last Friday, I wasn't even the first one nor the only one to put that into a video of mine. You know, there's other people that got it out before I did and talked about it, promoted it, but I saw a couple of those shills, we'll call them. You know, those they're just attack journalists. A couple of them made some snide remarks on Twitter, and a lot of them started tweeting about it. So, I mean, shoot, what better publicity than that right there? I mean, that's publicity you don't even have to pay for. And I saw a couple of them single me out. I don't even think they tweeted about my name, but they made a reference to that bleach drinking stuff. You know, in fact, I've seen a lot of shills get activated. A lot of crazy stuff I've seen over the last week since I've been gone, and it's just been great not to say anything about it. Just read it and laugh. We'll talk about quite a bit of it. But yeah, a lot of those mainstream media attack journalists, they started tweeting about this Q coin, and one or two of them singled me out, but they were all just really quick to rush all of their tweets out trying to throw shade on all of it. So nevertheless, it's not something you have to get. It's not something, you know, I'm forcing you to buy or anything like that. It's just cool to support a company, support me, grab some commemorative stuff, and there you go. So it's all up to you if you want to do that. Now, let's move on into discussing, I mean, whatever you guys want to talk about. I want to chat about some of the things that I've been doing on the back end that I mentioned to you here. Is that I'm working on, of course, putting more stuff up on my website, getting some Orgonite shipments in, got the Ormus up there. I'm trying to work on a greens, some sort of like greens powder, meal replacement powder, trying to find an avenue somewhere for that. And also, I'm gonna say this carefully, I don't want YouTube to dock me for this. Rhymes with PC3, C3P oil. Good old green plant oil. Might have a product of that coming up shortly. So that's some things I've been working on there. Of course, I'm going to get back into doing various videos, doing the whiteboard. I might even do like book reviews. Review this one when I'm done with it. The solid book. And some other ones too. Varying it up a little bit there. And then I've got some, what else? Interviews. Got some interviews coming up. Get back into doing those on this channel. I don't think I've uploaded one in a long, long time. So I'll do an interview with various truthers, scientists, researchers, people whose work I enjoy in various communities. I'll be uploading those in coming weeks. And just a variety of content. You know, like I said, I'll be going to ECETI soon. ECETI here in about 3 weeks. And the Edge of Wonder guys and a lot of other people will be there. So no doubt that we'll be running around with drones and cameras and doing stupid stuff. And Nerf guns, most definitely. Water balloons. And what else? How about, yeah, that's basically it. All I wanted to tell you guys about right now, about what I'm doing. And yeah, let's take a quick minute to chat about a lot of those haters, things they've been saying. And I don't like to devote too much time to it, but got to take a couple minutes every now and again just to brush it off your shoulders. You know, it's just extremely stupid stuff that they're saying. And one of those things is the toxic bleach. You know, since I've talked about MMS or chlorine dioxide before, because I've discussed it, researched it, and try to share my experience, my research, I've been labeled as a toxic bleach drinker, promoter, and it's absolutely insane. Anybody that tries to pull that line instantly shows themselves to me and any other seasoned researcher and logical thinker out there. And people in all sorts of communities have been trying to either spread misinformation about it or attack me about it. I'm seeing people in the UFO groups, disclosure groups, and mainstream media journalists, like I mentioned earlier, and various shills in the Q communities too. I mean, so many of them are trying to pull this toxic bleach line, and they just instantly give themselves away. Whether they're just ignorant, lazy, don't want to do the due diligence of actually researching the stuff, or whether they just have some sort of motive to attack and they know they're lying. I don't know, but nevertheless, people are just really showing themselves. So many people showing their true colors lately. It's been incredible. Sort of a reason why I took a week off. So many people were showing their true colors. I'm like, all right, just let them make their YouTube videos and tweet their tweets and make comments and say things that continuously just make them expose themselves. Interesting concept there. You don't expose anybody. We don't expose anybody here. We just tell the truth. They expose themselves by siding with untruths, promoting falsities, right? So I think that's a much better mindset to have. We're not out there to go attack anybody. We're just out there to make them slip up. And if they don't want to side with the truth and actual research and whatnot, then that's them. So, toxic bleach drinking line, that's just a grave misrepresentation. Grave context spin to what we're really dealing with chlorine dioxide. But that conversation's for another time. What else have I seen that's been absolutely absurd? Various people trying to claim, based upon completely random background ornaments that have been in my videos, that I have pedophile symbology, since the swirls and various things, and people are making YouTube videos about that. It's absolutely ridiculous. This was a random house that wasn't even mine that I was at, that I needed to get some filming done, and it was some decoration art on the wall. But because there was some spirals in across, yeah, that's crazy. No more time needed to waste discussing that. I mean, that's why it's more entertainment, right? It's more entertainment than anything when you, especially in my shoes here, reading this stuff, like toxic bleach, and I got pedo symbols, and what is this? Oh, I saw some people as well talking about my Contact in the Desert presentation, okay? Another thing, good entertainment for me over the last week. Talking about my Contact in the Desert presentation, and they were saying that it wasn't a good presentation, it wasn't well received, there wasn't that many people that were interested in it afterwards, trying to get a DVD of it, all these sorts of things, and I'm just sitting here like, man, where did they get this information? Where did they get these lines? If you let the evidence speak for itself, they put me in a room that had I think the capacity in it was like 110, 120. That was filled. I was told that dozens were turned away. I had people messaging me, DMing me, emailing me, telling me, yeah, they got turned away. They went to see other people's talks that had far less people in far larger rooms than I was in. And a lot of people messaging me saying that they couldn't get a DVD, and they'd inquired far more than like 1 or 2 or 3 that some organizations and people out there are trying to claim. There's only been like 1 or 2 people interested in this talk. I've got like 20, 30, 40 messages, DMs of people telling me that they tried to get a physical copy of a DVD and they couldn't. Some people sending me emails that they couldn't even email about it. Kept getting return to sender messages. So, I don't know, fake news. A lot of fake news going around out there. And it's good to take a minute to get that off your chest. It's cathartic, right? Let's just slap away those rumors, brush them off, and put that to rest. So, no, I don't promote toxic bleach. I don't have pedo symbols in the background of my videos. I mean, if you look at the evidence, my talk looked like it was well received at Contact, and the doxing stuff always makes me laugh too. I see regular comments on Twitter and comments on my YouTube that Jordan's going to be in a federal prison by the end of 2018. Now it's the end of 2019, or Jordan's going to get a knock on his door by the feds for doxing. And it's sometimes they go even further, doxing legitimate healers and doxing other people, whistleblowers, I don't even know. But no, I have yet to be investigated by the feds or receive a knock on my door or do any sort of illegal doxing practices. And any sort of discussion otherwise is, again, grave misrepresentation and context spin that I don't know who's saying for what reason, but that reason is shady, most definitely. I don't attack, you know, I like to move online with what you'd say Aikido principles. You know, I'm not going to go out there and just start throwing shade on anybody for no reason. But if I get attacked, if people come my way, if they start swinging, throw the first punch, you know, then you can defend yourself as necessary. And I have no problem calling out people that are attacking me relentlessly, ridiculously, spreading fake news, and I'll put them on blast. But other than that, no. Much bigger fish. As a good friend of mine told me a couple of weeks ago, big fish, okay? That's a thing I wanted to talk about in this live stream as well, is all of the freaking infighting that I've seen over the last week. It's been crazy, right? Good friend of mine told me a couple of months ago, there's a lot of little fishy out there, and sometimes it's good to smack the little fish that are acting up, you know, wipe away the rumors, like I said. but we want to focus on the big fish. We want to focus on the big fish, okay? And all this infighting I'm seeing in these communities lately. People just, okay, maybe you have grievances with the person, whether that's in the Q community, UFO community, whatever the case is. Make a tweet, do a YouTube video, get it off your chest, be honest. But I've seen a lot of people, especially in the Q community, they're just making YouTube video after YouTube video, tweet after tweet. So much of their work they're doing is focused on little fish. And a lot of the time, it's well-meaning little fish. Like, it's not even the shills out there. It's like well-meaning people. People are just having disagreements. And I'm not taking anybody's sides here, okay? If the shoe fits, wear it. Not taking anybody's sides. There are legitimate questions that some, Q researchers, even UFO researchers, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of legitimate questions that need to be asked of them. But a lot of the time, there's this infighting that happens, especially Q people right now. And it's not helpful. It's definitely not helpful. So to continuously focus on it and take the attention away from the big fish, because that's exactly what they want. Continuous squabbles. And then we don't focus on what's going on the big scene. So that's that. And what else? What else shall we get into? Sorry, I've been kind of avoiding the comments here for a little bit, but there's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. I'll be getting back into doing some recorded videos and whatnot this weekend to catch up on the current events. We're just kind of gossiping here, aren't we? But things that need to be said. All this infighting. Really what it looks like to me is just a bunch of like bloodthirsty egos out there. A bunch of people who, it's good they're warring her up. They want to get out there and fight the untruths and fight the lies in the society, but they're kind of like jumping into battle like an immature warrior, just swinging their sword around and trying to attack so many falsehoods as they can, that they don't realize that they're hitting some friendlies with that sword. And I think some of these people are well-meaning. We have like well-meaning, well-intentioned people just going at each other right now, and they really should be focusing either more their attention on the fake news in the alternative media that we can prove, or the fake news in the mainstream media. A lot of people triggered. Yeah, a lot of people are just getting impatient, which on one hand is understandable, but on the other hand, let's deal with that impatience. Let's have some logical thinking as to why certain things might be taking longer than you think. Do you just have unrealistic expectations? I think a lot of people are getting butthurt against themselves right now, and they're taking it out against other people. They're angry at themselves for having these expectations that continuously get broken, and they're these expectations that they base upon flimsy reasoning. And, they get butthurt, but they don't want to accept that and change their thinking. They just want to get angry at other people who are doing things differently than them. So, but nevertheless, again, there's good questions to ask. Don't ever have some sort of false idol out there that you're, even myself, don't just follow and accept what they say on the surface. Always research deeper. Anything these people are saying. So that's that. People often ask me, who do you trust? Who do you trust out there? And that's sort of you can't answer that. That's way too basic of a question. I trust every single person out there. I just trust them in different capacities with different things. Some people I trust to attack me and to shill against me and to lie about me. That's what you can trust them to do. A lot of people you can trust. Maybe you get an author, a documentary maker, or a speaker. You can trust them with certain subjects maybe, but then again, maybe they're very narrow-minded with those subjects, and you can't trust them about other things. So you can trust everybody, again, just in different capacities. So there's that. We talked about the infighting. Let me go over my notes here. Talked about all the things I wanted to do. Shout out to you guys. I think I covered most of those, most of the hate I've been getting, most of the attacks. It's pretty much just the same rhetoric over and over that I get, and a lot of it's situational too. Get into these situations and people just lying about it, lying about what happened. Do I have a P.O. box? I do. Please don't send me anthrax. Ha ha ha, joke. Just laugh at it, just laugh. P.O. Box 1247, Gig Harbor, WA 98335. I'll link that down below, and I'll link a lot of the links and things down below after this live stream. So that's that. Send me some goodies. I might shout them out in one of these live streams. Unpaid, of course. There's all these things I'm shouting out. Unless I say it's for a sponsor and do repeatedly. It's just good faith. You send me cool stuff, I have no problem. So what else should we touch on, my friends, before I head out? What's up, my friends? Got some Northwesterners here. Greetings from New Zealand, Carl. What time is it there? Must be morning. Antarctica, Ebola. Okay. In fact, a lot of you guys are just giving me topics that I could touch on in just new videos. And it's easier to record them because then you can edit in photos and whatnot. Difficult for me to do all that here, but you've given me good topics to cover in the future. Let me write them down. Ebola. Man, there's been so much of that disease stuff is fear porn, and it's always been that way for decades and decades. How many diseases did we go through? Remember in the mid-2000s, in the last just 10, 15 years, went through West Nile and Zika and Ebola, and in my opinion, half of those are probably bioengineered warfare agents, but all of the propaganda we see in the media is manufactured. So much fear porn. Even saw this like live Ebola tracker map. How did they get that data? How did they compile it? Is that even true? Do they just make this up to spread more fear into the population? Are they going to try to sell an Ebola vaccine with it? Good question. Speaking of vaccines, yeah, New York, Cuomo, signing that bill, rolling it right through to remove religious exemptions. And sad state there, very sad state. I believe, last I heard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is bringing a lawsuit to New York, though, having to do with vaccines. Hope the best for that lawsuit. Recently saw a New York State Supreme Judge, if I'm getting this correctly. This was today or yesterday. New York State Supreme Court Judge. State Supreme Court Judge there, dying of a heart attack during a court session. So, let's hope the best for RFK Jr.'s lawsuit. Let's hope the best for what's going on in New York there. Of course, so many suspicious deaths in the New York Police Department lately, so crazy times in that region of the country. I think I saw third New York Police Department officer committed suicide. So, I wonder what they were investigating. What were they investigating? And who's going to be investigating the deaths of the investigators? It's a question I have. Whew, you already know a lot of my work coming up is going to be on UFOs. UFOs. Donald Trump's interesting comment today. Interesting quote leaks, quote disclosures going on with UFOs in the media and whatnot. So I won't save that for this. Of course, there's topics I need to work through in my head so I don't just rant. But here's a comment. UFO/aliens equals fallen angels. I would say no. That is far too much of an oversimplification. There might be a lineage or a bloodline or a species out there that you might call fallen angels if you're going to go through and look at the biblical lore and ancient scripture and what we've been hearing. But no, not to say all of them are. It's like saying all humans are black people. All humans are white-skinned. No, there's a lot of different kinds of humans out there. A lot of different kinds of ETs. So that's that. Let's see here. Trump endorsing GMOs. Good question. You know, I have a chat video, whatever I'm planning, where I'm going to go through my thoughts on Trump supporting, for lack of a better term, 5G, GMOs, and vaccines. I think all those three we can kind of lump into one general discussion. And when I say supporting, I do that in finger quotes because it's superficial supporting. He's saying it for the media. But below the surface, what's really going on in the fight against Big Pharma and 5G and these things that and even chemtrails, geoengineering programs. What's going on in the fight against these things? Now, of course, remember, optics. He can't just openly say, oh, we're going to roll back all the GMOs and vaccines and 5G. He can't take heat in the mainstream media for those things, can't come off as a crazy conspiracy theorist, he can't alienate his voter bases, he's got an election coming up. I mean, he's got to tread carefully with a lot of different things. So that's a discussion we'll have a little more in depth coming up in the future here. But I think all those things, it's a very similar conversation for all of them. And situationally, they'll be combated in various ways. They are being combated in various ways, but overall, he can't just, there's some things he can't just come out and say or do, much like his comments on UFOs today, saying, oh, I don't particularly believe them, and kind of brushing it off. Well, there's reasons he's brushing it off. There might be reasons he's saying he doesn't particularly believe in them. There is evidence we have to sort of support a much different view of what he might hold as opposed to what we're hearing on the surface. Again, what he says to the media and these little sound bites that we hear superficially is a lot different than what we're hearing through, say, Q, what's being done truly, maybe behind the scenes or on a deeper level. So a lot of stuff to analyze in every situation. You can't just see a sound bite and go, my hopes and dreams are shattered. All my beliefs are done for. That's why this 3D, 4D chess idea, a lot of people like to ridicule that and say, oh, these crazy Q cult people. There's a good one I didn't mention in the attacks I've been getting lately, that cult word always thrown around. But people that often ridicule that 4D, 5D thinking chess game that's going on online. No, it is, call it what you want, multi-dimensional, 4D chess, whatever you want, but no, there's so many different pieces to this global game of risk. Global game of risk, it's strategy. You take in as much information or as much intelligence as you can, and you analyze your situation, you analyze your plan of, say, attack. And yes, it is very much multi-dimensional to everything going on. And that's why sometimes it is best to take a few days to relax. You see something happen in the news, first 24 hours, you're going to hear 5 different things. And you got to be careful of who you're reading, what their angle, what their motive might be. An article you hear from CNN will have different things than Fox News, will have different things than you'll hear on 8chan or on YouTube or on social media. So it comes to deciphering your sources, what their angle might be. And then as time goes on, you get somewhat of a clear picture or more information comes in. It's going to be very difficult to get a clear picture right off the bat. Depending on how intuitive you are, you might have some sort of theory as to how things might be going or what might be going on with the situation. You might be a really intuitive person. You're able to gather it correctly, but don't assume you know. I see a lot of people do that. They assume they know. They kind of get caught up in, I'm very intuitive, so this must be happening, and they make a connection that they don't really have a branch or a bridge between. You're putting a dot there that you don't really have just to, I don't know, make yourself feel good. Validate yourself to yourself. Okay, I'm going to chat with you guys for a few more minutes and then head out. So if you have any questions, drop them. If you have any comments, drop them. Cool. A lot of financial system questions. Gazara, Nazara, quite frankly, quick 30-second minute answer to that. I used to be super into the Nazara dinar revaluation talk. This was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But so much of what we hear, I come to learn about it, is that, oh, this revaluation is going to happen tonight. Or, oh, this person signed off on it. Used to be Obama signed off on it. Then Trump's signing off on it. And just a lot of what we're hearing about that is BS. So I relegate that to the BS box until something comes along that can change my mind. Not saying my mind's always going to be made up, but right now, a lot of that Nazara stuff, when I see it, when I read it, I don't pay too much attention. It was like, used to be tonight, every single day. It's going to be tonight, 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 tonight. And it's this hope porn psyop. It's out there to give people a false sense of hope, false sense of security. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to work. I don't have to put in any effort because my hopes and dreams are going to be saved by some magic redistribution of wealth or redistribution of funds. And it's that false savior psyop. The only saviors we got, folks, are ourselves. Only saviors we have are us. So if you're promised any sort of money, bunch of zeros in your bank account, if you're promised these aliens are going to come down and save you, or this prophet, or this whoever, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Krishna, Odin, Zeus, Hercules, whatever, if you're promised these people are going to come down and save you, they're not. It's only up to us. There's different tools we can use from ancient scripture, science, different things like that, but it doesn't save us, we save ourselves. And then you got to be careful with what tools you use, because a lot of people are using these tools improperly. And a lot of these tools, we're sort of taught how to use them improperly from the get-go, because of course the powers that be don't want us learning how to use these tools properly, because then we'd become free sovereign thinkers. They don't want that. So they teach us how to use the tools improperly from the get-go. And the problem we have as, well, individually and as a society is unlearning everything, unbrainwashing ourselves, and figuring out how to take these tools, decipher them properly, utilize them properly. And by these tools, I mean any ancient scripture you want to choose, Bible, Vedas, Buddhism, whatever you want. Scientific tools. Of course, there's a lot of BS science out there. We know that. We can go down any single topic you want to go through, history, health and medicine, physics, etc., etc. There's a lot of BS science. There's a lot of truthful science out there as well. I see a lot of people say, oh, NASA's fake. Everything we hear from NASA is a lie. False thinking. Not every single thing we hear from NASA is going to be a lie. They're great at collecting data, gathering data. It's the problem is, from the get-go, we've been told how to use the tools improperly, so they don't connect the big picture for us, say with information we get from NASA or other sources, right? So your tools can be religious, can be scientific, can be philosophical. There's great philosophical tools out there. I'm a big fan of Hermeticism and other spiritual philosophies. It's all about using these tools the right way. But none of it's going to save you. You're going to save yourself. And nothing is correct 100% of the time, and the truthfulness derived from such tool is largely dependent on how you interpret it, the context in which you bring from it, come to that tool towards. So, in other words, say the Bible. People say the Bible's the truth. Well, that's just a false line of thinking there. It's not really a good question. What are you interpreting from the Bible? How much truthfulness does it have? Not all truths are contained in said Bible. It's not going to teach you how to brush your teeth, garden, grow fruits and vegetables. It's kind of a lame example, but you have to spread your wings. You have to, the more broad you are in what you research and read and come across, the more seasoned of a discerner you can become. So don't expect all truth to be contained in one thing. Don't expect one thing to have the absolute 100% truth about everything. Am I going to DC on the 4th? No, unfortunately not. Couldn't make it happen. Too much of a stretch for me. So I can rant and answer questions at the same time, most definitely. Nexium case, I'll do some research on that today to bring to you in a video within the next couple days. Am I based on the East or West Coast? West? West Coast, best coast. I like the East Coast too. Been a few spots there, but I just like the West Coast. It feels more like it's just different energies. Pros and cons to each, you know. East Coast is very head down, driven, but they get stuff done. West Coast is very relax and chill, but it's a little more passive. I grew up in the relax and chill, so I just like the West Coast because that's where I come from, but I think everybody needs a little of both in their lives. A little more of the passive and the aggressive, just not together. Some overly aggressive people out there that need to relax a little bit, don't they? And there's some overly passive, apathetic people out there that need to get off their ass a little bit. It's all about finding where you're at, knowing thyself, and always bringing it into balance. Interesting studying psychology. I often tell people to study psychology, and you will, psychoanalysis more specifically, study psychoanalysis, and you will have such an edge on understanding people, understanding their motivations, understanding yourself, understanding the world. I'm a big fan of Dr. Carl Jung, Dr. Joseph Campbell, Robert Moore, these individuals, because they help with that psychoanalysis, understanding your subconscious, your shadows, how to balance them. If you're overinflated over here, bring it back to center. Or maybe this side of the pendulum, you're overinflated, bring it back to the center. Philosophy is helpful too. Philosophy, psychology, very similar. Philosophy, psychophilosophy. I mean, really when we're talking about these things, they're all the same. NLP is interesting to understanding the self. Neuro-linguistic programming is, in my opinion, more helpful in understanding how other people are trying to manipulate you. If you research neuro-linguistic programming, it's a great, having an understanding of it can be a great defense in defending yourself against narcissists. That's how narcissists talk. They use a lot of fancy words and things that aren't actually truthful or reasonable or logical, but they sound like it is because they're smart people. But they almost unconsciously know how to neuro-linguistically program. If you break down that word, neuro-linguistic programming, neuro, your brain, linguistic, talking, programming. Programming your mind with speech. And yeah, I have an NLP book. I've skimmed through it and I've read some articles. It's just helpful. What up, Matrix? But I'm a bigger fan of the, at least for understanding self and others, Jung's work. And Reich, Wilhelm Reich too. Reich, and then an understudy of his, Dr. Alexander Lowen. So all those names I just rattled off to you. Great to research. All right, guys, I think that's all for this one. Had a good time with y'all. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. Thank you, mods. Again, links, other helpful things will be down below. One last question. Am I doing a workshop at Dimensions of Disclosure, DOD? I don't think I mentioned that event earlier. Yes, I will be. So I'll be doing, actually that'll be an incredible event. It's in August 23rd, if I'm getting the date correct, August 23rd to 25th maybe, Ventura, California, Dimensions of Disclosure. Sala, Dr. Sala, David Wilcock, Corey Good, myself, Edge of Wonder will be there, and a lot of other great names too. Be getting, I believe Robert David Steele and Bill Binney will be there, and I'll be interviewing both of them. We're going to be doing a roundtable discussion, so that'll be great. Interview Bill Binney and Robert David Steele, and then I'll be doing a workshop. I think I might do my workshop on the beach there because why not? And talk some other things. Promise you guys I won't say the F word. But if I do, I think they'll be okay with it. It's going to be my criteria for conferences from now on. They ask me to come present. I'll just be like, I'll come if you let me say the F word. And I won't even say it. So, yeah, DOD be then. ECETI next month, July 4th. 2 conferences I have coming up. The only 2 I have right now. I think after that, schedule a little free, so we'll see what I'll get into later this year. I'm going to try to work on maybe some larger film projects or some other larger projects of mine. But that's all for this one, folks. Thank you all for hanging. Where we go one, we go all. Most definitely. The F word is free speech. Yeah. What's the link for the workshop? I will link events down below. You can go to my website, jordansather.com, and there's an event tab there as well to check out everything I have coming up. And there's a shop tab and everything else there as well. And then that's all the comments. Thank you for the super chat, Elder Dragon. Take care, great job, keep up the good fight. Thank you, sir, most definitely. So back in the fight, guys. Back in the fight. And thank you, Jenny. Appreciate that. So more videos coming, more work coming. Remember, go follow me on Twitter. I'm always tweeting, even when I'm not YouTubing. Even if I take some days off, I'm still on Twitter. Can't not, like addicted to it. And it's more than fun to troll people on Twitter. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, newsletter on my website. Sign up for that.